Dear Elizabeth, I imagine the fields of Lansbury are beautiful now, blooming with the dawn and shining in the sun. I was shot in the leg last week, but don't worry, they took good care of me. William gave his all to bring me out of the trench. I want to tell you what it's like to be here, so I can imagine you're here with me. They brought me to the CCS, where they had to choose who to save and who would die.
This is the last one we can afford to save. Leave all the others. Poor men.
Life here's hell, but it's better than being in the trenches. They're trying to make more room and make things better, but it's hard. I got on the table quickly. The German who shot me had more sympathy in his eyes than the surgeon. They're exhausted, but they're still doing their best.
We can't do a good job under these conditions. Where are the bandages I asked for?
Some of them keep scouting for supplies. It's a dangerous thing to do during these troubled times, and they have to make tough decisions.
Will they ever forgive us, Sergeant?
I can hear the whistle blowing. New soldiers are coming, and I have to join them. I'm ready to go back, but I'm not sure my mind is. If you ever meet a chap that says he wants to go back, call him a liar. I'll love you forever. Your Jack.
Wow, this game is absolutely brilliant. Hello again there, friends and fans, Raptor here, and on this channel we have played a ton of real-time strategy games, turn-based strategy games, games like Foxhole that teach you a lot about logistics, games like, for example, Company Heroes and Men of War Assault Squad or Call to Arms that teach you about, managing infantry on the front line, but all the logistics, just like I mentioned with, for example, games like Frostpunk and also This War of Mine, management is incredibly important, just like it is in Foxhole. Well, War Hospital is a game based in World War I that has you making incredibly difficult decisions in triage in order to, well, sacrifice the life of a few who simply might not be able to be saved to save the lives of many. It's a very difficult game in terms of the decisions you have to make and also in its gameplay style, but very cool, really well done so far. I played a bit of it and I'm very excited. So join me for our first look at War Hospital. Smash that like button so more people can find out about different types of World War I, World War II games. This would be a great game, for example, with MASH, for Korea or Vietnam. It would be interesting to see the different medical supplies and things available. So let me know what you think of the game down below in the comments section. We'll watch the trailer for this one. And yeah, it just seems like a very interesting game that I want to go all the way through. Last Train Home is another game. Frostpunk, like I mentioned, are games that are very similar to this with how they make you feel and the decisions they make you make. So this one, in the perspective of war, is certainly one you're going to want to pay attention to. All right, let's go.
My dear son, I was unable to stop the events that led to the fact that today I am going to the front and you are no longer there. You cannot imagine how much pain I carry in my heart. With your death, I question the sense of my continued existence.
This must be some kind of joke.
But fate throws me to a place where I might be able to save your colleagues and many others.
Hello, sir. My name is Grissing, the head doctor of this hospital. If I may speak freely, sir, we expected more than just an officer's rank to support our current situation. The Hun could break through our lines at any moment now.
Head doctor, mind your tongue. This is our new commander in charge. Sir, I'm delighted that someone with your experience is joining us. I recall your work in London very well.
Praveen Kumar, head engineer. If you want something done, you should come to me, sir.
Major Henry Wells. As you all know, I was directed here to manage this hospital. I will count on your professionalism, regardless of your private opinions about me.
If I may, sir, we have wounded that are already waiting in casualty clearing station. We should tend to them first.
Agreed. We should not let them wait any longer.
To start, decisions must be made about their fate, sir. Their files are already waiting for you in casualty clearing station.
Okay, let's get started. So a little tour around the camp already. That would be the CCS, as they mentioned here on the right side. But we've got areas to house our staff, areas to rehabilitate people, make pharmaceuticals, and do a lot more. Now, this seems to be a war-torn town that has a lot of damage to it, but seemingly we are still holding what looks to be maybe some sort of last line of defense. Trenches around us and maybe some other vehicles, and sections are around us as well, and a big old graveyard too, which unfortunately is going to get filled. We're not going to be able to save everyone, so let's go ahead and start with the worst of the worst. Alright, so we're going to assign a patient here to get treatment. So let's go ahead and do that. Just
Very
assign them
well,
to the
sir.
doctor.
Now that a decision was taken, we can start operating on these patients.
For sure. But first, we need to assign people to actually work at this station, so let's go ahead and do that. So we have a few different people here that we can drop into the position. So obviously a stretcher takes 2, so we'll grab those 2 and drop them in.
Medics are on the way.
Very good. Now we can see the progress of an operation, and we can see inside buildings too with the zoom function, and there's tons of upgrades for everything, from healing to housing, production and scouting, upgrades to, well, actually, the ability to look at trains and see exactly what we've got in storage too. So we can order things via trains, and then we can, of course, make more things through our fabrication and warehouses and our workshops too. So pretty cool. All right, so they're taking the patient right over here to the operating ward at the hospital that is attached to the church. Or I guess that ward particularly. Oh, look at that. We can zoom through all the buildings. Nice. Alright, let's see where that guy is. Oh, they're taking him right now. I'm not sure if there's actually a person on that stretcher, is there? Oh, there is, but he looks awfully small. Looks like a child in comparison to the two, but then again, I guess many of them were. Okay, so now he's operating on him. Oh boy. Is that necessary? That looks grim. That really looks grim. Oh, now it's starting to rain too. Wonder if there's ways that we can repair a lot of these buildings. It might actually help out to keep people out of the cold and the rain. What do we have here?
Sir, I'm afraid that one of our patients died during the operation.
Oh no.
How did it happen? Was it a mistake or an oversight?
No, sir. It was just bad luck. The patient was too weak to survive the operation, and we could do nothing more to save him.
Oh,
Maybe
that's a shame.
with better equipment we could do something, but the sad reality is that we cannot save them all.
I understand. Then we need to prepare his body to be buried. According to directives from HQ, all deceased are to be buried in place. Too many bodies to transport home, I'm afraid.
Alright, let's go ahead and get some people to work at the cemetery then, for when we have failed operations. So from the casualty clearing station to the hospital, and then hopefully eventually to the to the rehabilitation station, but in this case it's going to be the cemetery.
Medics are on the way.
So they'll automatically bury anyone who dies while they're here, whether or not they're in the casualty clearing station or in or out of surgery. Okay, now our engineer from before wants us to order surgical supplies. Then we can go ahead and prepare those for storage or for surgery or make pharmaceuticals out of those. So now we're going to order things via the train, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and requisition some resources, and we're going to order up to 40 of those. But as you can see, we've got ourselves a few other things: chemical medicine, trauma medicine, food, and alcohol as well to manage, keep that morale up, etc., etc. All right, we're ordering 40. Should be here shortly. Okay, very good. And we can see when the train will arrive. So right now it's the 6th of June, and you can see that we're pretty much getting a train per day. All right, ordering supplies is costly, and we can't rely on it in the long run. True. Anytime the Germans could bombard the railroads or artillery them, sabotage, who knows. We are tasked now with building a pharmacy. So we do have a little bit of building, but it's more just like laying out a custom building that already exists to do something else. Well, I guess we've already built it then, haven't we? Okay, now we need to assign some people to work there. So let's get these two to work inside of the pharmacy building, and we'll get them to make some stuff for us. Let's go ahead and make surgical supplies. Let's see what the building looks like on the inside. I guess it's being constructed now. So they're going to rebuild a little bit of that building. I see. Okay, let's speed up time and watch how they work.
Sir, engineers reached the construction site.
Okay, so they either retrofit a building, rebuild a building, or a little bit of both, like in the case of the church. A little extension there coming out of the side of it, but also using some of the church to do their surgery as well. Horrifying thing, truly. Right, well, we've got one death, which is not great, but we need to turn that around and get a few more, I guess, rehabilitated soldiers back onto the front line. All right, the pharmacy is built. Let's go ahead and now make surgical supplies. We need to make 15 surgical supplies from the newly built pharmacy, and we're going to use that recently ordered supply from the warehouse that was dropped off via train to here. Oh, there it is now. Okay, so we can see the train that dropped off a bunch of supply. And possibly new patients and other things, too. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we have 2 new patients now. Okay,
Sir,
fair enough.
new patient arrived.
All right, let's go ahead and assign those folks to work there. Now that the pharmacy's built, you should start producing supplies. Yes, so that's definitely something we want to do. Oh, there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and assign people to work in the pharmacy now. So the supplies and new patients are here, so now we've got some things to actually treat them. Let's go ahead on to the next thing then. We're going to assign some people from the CS. But first, let's go ahead and make sure we use the supplies there. Canteen. You can set how much food rations will be eaten each day. This affects morale. Nutrition. Nutritious rations will also require alcohol. Oh yes, that's where all the nutrients is. Okay, so automatically these folks are making surgical supplies as soon as they arrived at the station.
Sir, engineers reached the pharmacy.
Yeah, and there he goes. So both of those guys are working to make the surgical supplies for us. Cool. All right, back over to the casualty clearing station. Let's go inside there. And let's go ahead and make sure we perform surgery on these two. Now, we can also assign the doctor to take rest in between multiple surgeries. And unfortunately, right now, we only have one doctor to perform those surgeries. So once he takes a rest, everybody in the casualty clearing station is going to have to stay put. So we've got a lot to consider here. There's a lot going on. We've got like building supplies, medical supplies, food, and other things to make different types of medicine out of, depending on the situation. We've also got a train arriving every so often, but it might not. And we've also got the Germans who may be launching a counterattack soon to cut us off. And, of course, the best thing for us is to get these troops either rehabilitated immediately and back on the front line if it's a small wound, and or, well, send them home if we need to, or unfortunately put them into the graveyard if all hope is lost, which unfortunately will be a reality for far too many. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to operate on those 2 new patients. That's working now. We're making 15 supply at the pharmacy. So it looks like each soldier makes 1. Yeah, so every time this bar fills up,
Operation was successful.
2 of the guys in there are making 2. So 1 to 1 equals 2. So we'll make that shortly. Looks like one of the operations was successful. Go ahead and take a look here at the room there. Yeah, he's looking great. Good job, bro. Okay, we can see a lot of stats here, too, on the surgery ward, chemical ward, trauma ward. Chemical ward might be for the actual use of chemicals, like mustard gas and other things like that. Horrible stuff. So, surgery probably from a wound of a bullet or shrapnel or something like that. Chemical. And then trauma, probably got to be something higher than that. Compound fracture. Stuff you don't want to talk about or think about. At least I don't. But those are reality. Okay, we've got 1 person healed up. That's good. Rehabilitation center is not functioning yet. All right, well, they're going to teach us about that shortly. So we have our pharmacy here. our warehouse for supplies here next to the train station, which is good. Another train arriving with more patients, which is both good and bad for us. There's our rehabilitation center. And we've also got ourselves a canteen and our staff quarters here. They're lodging inside that building. We can take a look at it and maybe possibly upgrade it. We also have ourselves a scout tent, so they'll be able to tell us what's going on around us to see if we need to get the hell out of here. Engineering depot, they're up on the river, so they get more supplies that way more than likely. And those trenches that I showed you earlier, as well as a much more distant front line. We have an advanced dressing station, so we'll get things like perhaps French and Italian, maybe even, I don't know, Western? No. A different type of dressing. All right, operation events, so we can have good things and bad things happen, just like in Frostpunk, where you're tasked with making a decision. So it seems that the patient's body was able to fight off the infection on its own. Closing the wound should be enough to help the patient recover. All right, now before we do this, we can take a little bit of information from the doctor to see, you know, if they're crazy or if they're not to be trusted. Well, in this case, he's rested, so there's a likelihood that that is to succeed, and they're basically, you know, recommending that. What's interesting here is I think we're almost like the head doctor, where we are not necessarily performing any sort of surgeries, but they're coming to us as almost like a, if it were a law or a legal issue, we'd be like the Supreme Court. We could overrule what they would recommend, and we make the final decision on behalf of the patient. But really, truly, what we want to do here is to have a living, breathing army. So if there are a few troops that will likely live, and then one who is likely to die, we must live on the work on the ones that could live in order to push the front line and defeat the enemy. That's the sad truth of trauma and things like that. So triage, as they say. Okay, well, allow for the closing of the wounds then. Oh, we can also look at the patient here. He's been operated on. You can see a little bit of weird background, which I don't really, I guess, you know, things like no children and that they've been in separation. So I don't know, maybe it'll pull at your heartstrings or something in the future. A little bit like Papers, Please, perhaps, when you're sorting through all these patients. You know, you want to consider somebody's background and what's at stake. Maybe you can find out that somebody's been lightly wounded, but they have a sick family member at home or something like that, and you could grant them the opportunity to go home. But, you know, what do you put first? Your country? Your comrades? I mean, there's many decisions here to make. Love the art style here, too. This reminds me of, you know,
was successful.
again, this War of Mine and or Last Train Home, which is also another phenomenal game that has you managing patients on a train as well, although less involved than this is. Now we're going to start on rehabilitation. So let's go ahead and get that started. So now that the soldiers are starting to return to, or could return to the front line, we can go inside and find out who can do what. Okay, so there's our soldier there that is fully healed up. I think we'll send him back to the front lines. You could always give those troops a ticket home, but, you know. By the way, I really like this map here, too. We're going to be spending a lot of time here, but they did put in a lot of great detail. Oh, we need to also assign someone to work there. But I do appreciate the fact that they put in a lot of great work into making this look rather nice. So let's go ahead and put somebody in there. And there. So we got a nurse in the casualty clearing station and in the rehabilitation center. And the operating ward will need more staff for.
Nurses are on the way.
Okay. We got people taking care of them as they arrive and as they leave. And yep, there's some more to arrive. Before we go take a look at them, though, let's take a look around again. I really like looking at the building and the detail here. In my opinion, this looks a little bit like perhaps like Commandos or like Warmongers or whatnot, like one of those turn-based and or real-time stealth strategy games where you got to stay hidden. Now our goal is to heal up to 4 soldiers. So now there's more of them from that train. But again, just as I was saying, I just really like how there's a lot of detail here. Barrels everywhere, wood everywhere. Random trees, car wrecks, you know, a tipped over wagon, dead horses, that kind of thing. Everything you'd find. Maybe a telegraph wire just going wherever, you know, that kind of thing. Very cool. And these buildings are just so beautiful. Just gorgeous. Okay, now we need to start managing our doctors. So in this case, we're going to, everybody here is in a good condition. So we need to basically tell the doctor to get rest in between here. So in other words, he's going to be exhausted. Then he's going to rest and then get back to work. So I think this rest period might be 8 hours of sleep. I'm not entirely sure. But if we hover there, I guess it doesn't tell us yet either. All right, well, regardless, let's go ahead and do it to it then. All right, so the doctor will heal up 2 more patients, go to rest, and then come back to heal up the rest. There's our cemetery there. I'm sure in the future, by the way, the additional parts of the game will show itself. Now, again, remember this will be releasing on the 11th of January, so pretty cool to actually see that. And let's go ahead and...
Sir, nurses reached the
Actually, wait a minute. Oh, there's a whole compendium here, too. I wonder if they'll be able to show any sort of the conditions that you may have. Oh, yep, there you go. So definitely physicians being able to heal chemical wounds, rehabilitation, how to deal with death. So if you're ever in need of figuring out what to do, you know, like, for example, how do you enter trenches? There you go. Shows you exactly how to see the front line. So we can actually see the war here. I don't think we actually get to give orders to our troops, but indirectly, well, directly we affect the front line, because the more effective we are in getting the troops back to that front line, the more effectively we can defend against the incoming attack from the enemy. So that's a very important thing. Let's speed up time then as we wait. But yeah, so a lot of resource management here, a lot of This War of Mine and Last Train Home. I'm loving this. The last few years for gaming have just made such a great combination of previous games where you can just tell that there's so many devs out there that have played, you know, game A and game B, and they've decided to make their own. And along the way, they've combined some other ideas from other games too. I mean, it's completely unavoidable, and I think that's beautiful that so many people are discovering games and wanting to make their own, and then coming up with ideas like this. That I thought we would never see a World War I hospital simulator like this. I thought this would be a little bit more clunky, but no. And there's many other games coming out, like Arms Trade Tycoon, dealing with World War I tank production and weapon production and designing. Things like this are very present in Hearts of Iron, for example, too, where your supply lines and logistics, though not on this visual scale, are certainly important that way as well. So a very cool thing. That there's much more to it than just the frontline troops. Hell Let Loose and Postscriptum and Foxhole are really good games, and Foxhole does a very good job of showcasing what it's like behind the front lines in order to supply those troops with rifle rounds, medical supplies, triage, and other support. And that really makes you respect a lot of the men and women on those front lines today for all the different things going on. Communications, message relaying, just digging a trench. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has to be done in order to secure victory or prevent defeat, or whatever you want to say. But anyway, I'm just saying that, you know, the frontline troops are very important, but all the people who support them too, even just moving cargo around, logistics wins war, and this is kind of part of that. So it's really cool to see something like this. Now, I'd like to see this from the perspective of, for example, MASH. Getting this game in Korea or Vietnam or something like that, different settings would be great. To see things, you know, like helicopters instead of trains coming in would be a really interesting way to see the advancement of technology and how battle wounds would be treated. And unfortunately, in this case, there's really not a lot of cures for things like PTSD and what they, of course, called shell shock. You'd have people giving the 1,000-yard stare in many cases, and not until more recently that those things were found to be so important, which they are. You can heal the man of the body, but you got to heal the mind too. Very important. That's what makes a person whole. All right, we got another person here wounded. Interesting that they keep them in their uniform like that. I think you'd probably want to get their boots off and all that mud and anything that would be wet. You'd probably want to take out of there. All right, we got more people coming into the hospital rooms. They're transporting them as quickly as they can. I think the doctor's on break now, so let's speed up time a little bit more till we get that done. Well, I said what I had to say. Now let's go ahead and see what we need to do next. Surgical supplies production is complete. Excellent. Good job. That concludes the production basics. Thank you, sir. But I really love the idea of supplies coming in, that we get to change or order things and kind of prepare. And, of course, supplies are very limited. We're not the only front line here. There's many, many triage and hospitals across the front line and behind the front line. So just because there's a lot of supply, well, that's probably going to be spread pretty thin after the Germans launch their attack. Okay. We have some information here. Nurses, operation success, complication chances. Obviously, if we put a nurse in here to assist the doctor, there's going to be a much larger chance for that. We can see here one doctor working and now currently resting. He's assigned, but is currently resting. Let's go ahead and speed up then. So he's here inside the staff lodging. Gorgeous buildings, by the way. I don't know what it is. I just, you know, this could just be a generic building. They could have just made this look like, you know, generic city hall or whatnot, but this really does look great. Going back to what I was saying recently about a game called The Last Train Home, They also did a great job of designing all the buildings, and so I'm seeing gorgeous cities, absolutely gorgeous cities in, you know, World War I, World War II simulators, games like Call to Arms, for example.
Sir, our defensive line has been broken.
Oh, no.
Multiple casualties. The 36th Division is in retreat.
The Germans broke through the lines.
My, that is terrible news.
Oh no.
Another bunch of those poor bastards will be here soon. I'll better check our stocks.
What about the hospital? Are we to evacuate the facility?
Uh-oh.
No, sir. HQ gives us no such orders, sir. In fact, there were no orders for us. Sir, patient is cured.
Good. Oh boy, this must be some of the troops from the 36th front line. No more space for freight. Oh, okay. Heal 2 more patients. All right, we're going to have to get orders about what to do. Looks like the Germans are coming our way. That's not good. Oh, we can hire personnel here, order more resources and whatnot. Very nice. Okay, I think that bell means that the doctor's on his way back. Medic teams, 1 idle. These might be things we get access to a little bit later. We have engineers to build buildings, 1 doctor, 2 nurses, 2 medic teams, 1 idle. We could probably assign a few more to the casualty clearing station. Although they're going to just transport people to the same place. Nurses, engineers, and scouts. Let's see. Trained for reconnaissance that can be sent out on missions around the hospital. So that might stop saboteurs from messing with our supplies and or...
Sir, medics are on the way.
perhaps find more wounded too. The scouts can of course be used to go and find more soldiers and other things like that too.
Sir, medics reached the casualty. Sir, survivors from our forces in the north.
Oh boy, they're making it. No train yet.
Lieutenant Colonel Angus McFidley, commanding the 36th. My orders are to set up a temporary line of defense north of here, but I will not be able to do that with our limited forces.
I understand. How can we help, Lieutenant Colonel?
Heal as many of the soldiers from the front line as possible. Having them reinforce our defensive line will help our men significantly.
How many do you need?
Yeah, as many as he can muster for sure. Wow, look at this. Okay.
Many as you can provide, I'm afraid. Intelligence reports suggest that Germans will launch an attack on our position on the 8th of June, probably around noon.
What?
What about reinforcements from HQ?
That's tomorrow.
There will be none. Not until the 21st of June at least. HQ is gathering forces and regrouping for a major counter-offensive. Our orders are to survive on our own until that day.
Wow. The hospital must survive.
This is a hospital, not a military camp. How do they expect us to manage that?
We will be given the best intelligence reports they have. We will know about every attack and the estimated size of the attacking force in advance. That's the best HQ could give us.
I understand, Lieutenant Colonel. There are old trenches nearby. You can set up defenses there. We will try to send enough men to survive enemy attacks.
Wow. The hospital must survive. Get it going down below in the comments section. So that's our job, is to basically take the 36 forces, heal them up, send them back to the front line, and prevent the hospital from being overrun. And we got to wait until the 21st of June. That's like 2 weeks away. Survive until 5 a.m. on the 21st, 1918. Wow. Wow. Now there's the front lines there. Trenches of the 36th Division. There they are. Alright, so we need to flood this area full of troops. So all these positions need to be manned. Machine gun posts, mortars, artillery, tanks even. Wow, they've got a lot of stuff here.
Operation was successful.
Alright, looks like we've healed those 4 wounded. Sometimes patients cannot be healed and should be denied operation. Enter casualty clearing station and go to assignment assigning patient's view. Oh
Sir,
no.
new patient arrived.
Looks like everybody's okay. A waiting patient is in terminal state. The operation is costly, time-consuming, and the chances of success are extremely low. In those cases, it's better to deny the patient. That way you'll lose less morale and won't be able to save other patients. And will be able to save other patients. That's more important. All these guys look good, though? Stable and good? Oh, maybe this one here at 12. Doctor's going to be exhausted again, though. We're not going to be able to really assign anybody else, it looks like. Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's these bullet holes here. This guy's going to be completely wrecked. So I guess they're just telling us to throw that in the denied folder. Oh, God. Concludes the healing patient's basics. So, yeah, he's going to die. Okay. Now, I can't decide the other ones because the queue is full for the doctor, so we need a few more to clear up. So that is our goal, is to survive until the 21st. Sir, we should hire another surgeon. More hands to work means we won't have to deny as many patients. Hire a surgeon. All right, so we're going to do that from the train station. This is good. Now we can basically have 24-hour coverage. So let's hire personnel. We're going to do the doctor here, or surgeon. We also have a physician, trauma specialist, engineer, medic team, nurses, and scouts to hire too. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and order a doctor. I'm just going to call them doctors when I mean surgeon. But surgeon, physician, those are the specialties. We all know that. Okay, let's go ahead and hire them. And we'll assign them as soon as they arrive. Looks like we've got no more supplies here, I think. Yeah. We'll need to order more supplies. But we're in the tutorial still, so we'll do as they say. Looks like the healing really affects morale, too. We did have that one soldier scripted death right at the start, but obviously we want to have more and more healed up. We can also watch the progress of the battle. The Germans more than likely are going to attack tomorrow, so there's going to be a huge amount of casualties, and there could be more attacks after that. Artillery, aerial bombardment, chemical, and or just good old-fashioned infantry charges. So, man, this game's art looks great, though. Again, I gotta say, I'm just really impressed with the look of the buildings, attention to detail. We got, you know, some smoke coming out of some of the buildings from chimneys, you know, fire and stuff like that. And look at that, the smoke's going pretty much the same direction. Wow. Beautiful. Okay. We got about 2 weeks to survive. This is gonna be a long haul, baby. I love it. You can see vehicles driving around too. Oh, that's great. We've got multiple ways that casualties can arrive. So they can bring them in via ambulance, maybe horse and a wagon or whatnot. Oh, that's really cool. And we got to wait for that other doctor to arrive. So I guess we'll wait until they're here. We'll hire a surgeon. We did do that. Hire personnel. So we're standing by. Incoming 1. So we got to wait until the next, I think the next day, as we probably telegraph out and ask them to send it over. Alright, let's speed up time. Love the chatter in the background, the sounds of wind, maybe distant gunfire, artillery, aircraft maybe. Yeah, love the town detail. And of course the clouds passing over too. I'm impressed. Okay, let's go ahead and check out who else we can... Oh. I think that means the doctor might be back on duty. Top operations right now. Can we get anyone else rehabilitated? Wow, look at all these pending front lines. All right, we're sending everybody to the front line. I had forgotten about this, but they can all go in one... I actually don't think they get deployed until the train arrives, so we have until then to do that. Oh, and you can see our defenses here are strong. I think that's what that refers to. So we can send them to the HQ. You're granted military drafts for sending soldiers to the HQ, or release from duty will gain morale. So, okay. So we either send them home, we send them to the HQ, and they'll give us medical supply and whatnot to transfer them elsewhere to other areas that they're needed, or we defend the hospital with it. So we could also just do this, since our front lines seem strong. And I guess their ranks matter too, because of course, with different experience and whatnot, that could change the tide of battle. So that's really interesting, that their experience or their veterancy also matters too. So I guess we can't send... They all have to go to the same place? Alright, we're just going to send everybody to the HQ. What's the point of sorting then if we can't do that? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, let's do that.
Sir, patient is cured.
Oh, so it looks like some of them leave on a boat, some of them leave via train. Oh, yeah, and the trains arrive to pick them up or drop them off or whatever. Really cool. Maybe the train, I think because it shows us the actual timetable for the train, I think we need to wait. But if not, it doesn't matter. We're just learning. Okay, so there's all the new information on new staff. We'll see how that goes in time. Go back to our patients here. Okay, so now we see everybody ready for operation or in CCS. Okay, we've got very little issue here with a lot of these troops. Go ahead and have you rest right there. Let's have you rest here. I don't know if we can actually give the doctors... I guess they just work until they're exhausted and then take a break. I thought we might be able to give them different times. Build an X-ray improvement. No way. Alright. So where do we build that at? Maybe at the actual... build an X-ray improvement. Is that at the actual operating ward? There it is, yeah. Surgery ward. Increases chances of operation success by, wow, a whopping 25%. Let's go. Great. And then we're going to have the engineers build that for us or install it. That's great. You'd think that'd be something we would... That for 1918, that's incredibly advanced. Really, truly. I mean, that's not something you could just build in the field like a bunch of benches or tables, but... Oh, yes, that... I think that one guy died.
Engineers reached the construction site.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately. This guy's not looking good. Gonna take 8 hours. He's gonna be denied surgery still. And yes, as they mentioned, just people are just gonna die. You never know if their condition will change. We can also change this here to see how long their surgeries will be and put some people first. But most of them seem to be 2 or 3 hours. But again, we could have that change at any time. There could be complications, and those could be much higher and longer than we thought, and things like infection or... What the hell? At first I thought this was like, what? Mustard gas attack, but no, that's that is the engineers installing our X-ray equipment. That's what it's like when you install X-ray, I guess. Alright, let's see what else we can do. And we still have people assigned to the cemetery, right? Cemetery, yes. Casualty clearing station, yes. That's where they need to be. Not sure if we need to buy more supplies yet, but we'll stand by. No assigned workers, right. Engineers are busy with the X-ray room. Go back inside the rehabilitation. Nothing at the moment. Canteen will be consuming 10 rations in about 8 minutes, which I'm assuming is hours, perhaps? 1 hour per minute.
May I have a word with you?
Certainly. Tell me what's on your mind.
I was approached today by one of the civilians that stayed in the city. A man named Theo Blank. He was a stonemason here. According to his words, he customarily made a tombstone for each person buried in the cemetery. But with cemetery requisitioned by the military and so many deceased, he will not be able to because of the sheer amount of work.
Well, that is certainly sad. But I don't see anything we could do to help him.
Well, I think I have a kind of solution to this problem, sir. There is a significantly seized rock in the cemetery. We could use it to make a sort of memorial stone and carve there the name of each person died or that will die in the future. Mr. Theo Blank volunteered to prepare the stone and carve the name each time the person dies. All that is needed, sir, is your permission.
You want to build a memorial wall for everybody that dies. That probably will help morale. I believe all the other actors are maybe real voice actors, but that just seems to be completely AI. Yeah, they should actually hire somebody to properly represent that engineer, I think, honestly. Otherwise you get weird translations that just don't sound right at all. I understand they're trying to go for an accent, but no. that doesn't work out. All right, let's go ahead and do that. I agree with building a memorial wall. I'm assuming here. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, so more people are dying. Yep, that's what happens in war and whatnot. So, all right, we'll go ahead and let them work all the way through. No more exhaustion. Morale's at 52%, though, despite people dying. We're holding firm. Okay, let's increase speed a little bit. Rehabilitation Center. New patients are arriving, okay. 2 hours, 2 hours, approximately, right? Would like to have more doctors, though. We can only have 2. We don't have the physician or trauma buildings yet. Could hire more engineers. And another medic team. Looks like we still have 42 out of 80 medical supply. I think. They're still building that X-ray. Let's get that X-ray done first. A 25% boost to surgery success is huge, and we need to get that done first. What are some of those other improvements, by the way? Rehabilitation Center gets some improvements as well. Rehabilitation activities. That's something that has to be built, and we'll have to spend some of our, we'll just call these like materials on that. Casualty clearing station will have a shift system. And it takes 3 papers, which are what? Something from HQ. Having the casualty clearing station improved would be great. But I don't think I can do that just yet. Oh, there we go. Yes, I would like to do that. I wish I could queue these guys up to do different things. Okay, we'll cancel that for now. Alright, we got to do one thing at a time. We can't really queue things, and it would be nice if we could have the engineers do the X-ray, then take a little break, and go do the next thing. We will need more engineers, though, I suppose, since we're making improvements. Okay, I think we're going to hire some more engineers. They seem to be more important than I originally was thinking. And let's just hire all the personnel. I mean, we got to hold out, right? We can't. Let's hire one more engineer. And the nurses will be important for the actual... we should put one in the hospital. Okay, let's go ahead and get them up and running. Okay, so now maybe we'll have more improvements here. So X-ray plus nurses should certainly help. Operation emergency. Oh, we got an emergency. Sir! Seems our personnel were mistaken in their initial diagnosis. We should perform a full examination to ensure that we're administering the right treatment. Perform examination. Continue with the procedure. Patient card. Oh. That's actually an American doctor. Let's do this right.
Sir, we lost this patient.
No, he died regardless. I think. Was it that guy? I'm not sure. Okay, so anyway, we'll get more people in. I don't want to lose anybody, damn it. It really does actually. I'm gonna be honest, like it's a little not cringe, but it hurts. There's a physical like we could have done better. But yeah, we got to worry about the doctors being in good condition. We got to worry about our supply. We got to worry about German attacks. I mean, we could simply just be bombed and lose some of our... we could lose power for the X-ray machine if that's how it works. And or any other things like telegraph, the ability to order supplies that way. Morale good, though, at 55, even higher than before. And our front lines are strong. Yeah, of course we can set shifts. A lot of things we actually have to research through the improvements tab. All right, let's go back to making medical supplies. Great. All right, Back to the CSS. Everything seems okay.
Sir, engineers reached the pharmacy.
Nobody there. I want to hear another train arrive.
Sir, I am happy to report
There we
that
go.
Mr. Blank finished the memorial stone. It is ready now. If you would like to examine it, it awaits at the cemetery.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. As we're viewing a building, we can actually see different stations within the building. So this might mean that the cemetery could be upgraded to do different things. So as he mentioned, the memorial stone, and there could be watching graves be dug, or I don't know, maybe some sort of overflow for bodies. Like, who knows? Like, maybe at a certain point, we'll just have to bury bodies of people who were just dead to prevent disease. Pretty interesting. And is that the same with the hospital? Yeah, it's kind of true. You can see the different stations there. Oh, that must be the... Oh, in the United States, this would be the dealing with the insurance company. Some sort of a torture device there. Okay. All right, well, let's keep trucking. Okay, so we got people going in there. Let's see if we can assign a nurse.
We lost this patient.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of that. We don't want that happening anymore. Amputation tools. Morgue. Wow. Surgery ward enhancement. Chemical ward. Oh, then we're going to have to deal with that. Great. Deceased do not occupy beds in CCS and operating tables in the wards. Well, we're getting a lot of that going on, so let's get him to build that. Our new engineer. Good, now let's get a nurse in here if we can. How do we assign? Go inside CSS. Or CCS. Nurses 0 out of 2 here. They must also be on shifts. Train arriving shortly in 6 minutes. Morgue is up next.
Sir, engineers reached the construction site.
Seems like even though we've got a lot of basic injuries that take 2 hours, we're getting a lot of deaths. That's crazy. But these were all wounded from before. Oh, let's add our nurses then if we can. Go to staff. See what they're doing. We got our doctors there, our nurses. Moving to building, working, resting. Oh wow, one of them actually collapsed. Wow. And some of them actually have traits, so that's something we're going to have to worry about as well. Morale slightly increases when they work. Work slightly slower, though. Okay. Alright, well that's not bad. Pretty cool to see that. And canteens as well, normal or half rations. Next meal in 8 hours. Alright then. Well, let's go to our medical teams then and check them out. We'll have more people working in the cemetery to, I guess, bury bodies since that's a problem. Natalie, I think, is blacked out. Nobody's getting rehabilitated, so let's switch that. Let's switch that around. Unfortunately, medical teams. Okay, and scouts we'll deal with later.
Medics are on the way.
Okay. Yeah, the fact that we're getting a lot of dead means that we're gonna have to accommodate that a little bit better. So we're going to work on the morgue and the cemetery speed a little faster, just to get those cleared, and then
Nurses reached the hospital.
we move you up there. There we go. Oh, he'll collapse then. Okay. Close to collapsing. Okay. Tired. Don't care about that. Close to collapsing though. He needs to finish that operation.
Sir, medics reached the cemetery.
Okay, are we making medical supplies? We are. Oh!
Sir, nurses reached the casualty clearing station.
Oh, okay. Multiple casualties can be loaded onto an ambulance as well.
Sir, new patient arrived.
2 hour, 3 hour. Okay. No, we got to do that. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. There goes another ambulance. I think that was the same one circling around. That is really unique how that does that. Very neat. Patients denied. Serious condition, unfortunately, yep.
Sir, we lost this patient.
Died during operation. Man. And we have the 25% boost, too. And we have a nurse in there as well. Damn, man. We got a nurse inside the casualty clearing station in order to try to hopefully accommodate them a little longer, have them hold on, and to assist with operations. That's our thing, is hold on and assist with operation, but they're all going to the cemetery. Now, if you do anything different at this point, let me know. I want to know from down below what your plan of attack would be for these types of issues. Would you focus more on improvements? We're doing our morgue now, of course. Housing, that'd be great. We get people rested a little faster. That'd be great. More time working. Stew brewing pots. Water mill. High precision weights. Distillery. Wow. A drying pistol. That is cool. All these insane inventions.
Sir, we lost this patient.
Oh yeah, the doctors will take time to recover. Oh yeah, look at that. One of the doctors blacking out and also being taken to his room. Jeez, man, that's crazy. This is definitely along the same. This isn't kind of like a thing to show you exactly how it works. This is truly like a brutal simulator, what you would expect from, for example, Frostpunk. I mean, this is just hardcore. The damage to the patient's body is extensive but superficial. It seems the first aid given to him was enough to prevent further damage. Great. Alright, well that's one free one. So he goes into the rehabilitation center shortly, I think. Alright. We gotta get some more people to that front line. We got surgical supplies being made. I feel like we should get this nurse off of here. Let's go to staffing again, which is one of these buttons up here. There's so many. Ah, there we are. Okay, so let's go to warehouse, cemetery, canteen, assignment. Ah, there it is. So let's go ahead and get our nurse off the casualty clearing station. We need more people in the operating ward. We got to get people through. And you're on break.
Sir, nurses are on the way.
Oh wow, you can hear the screams too. And look at all the blood as we zoom in.
Sir, nurses reached the hospital.
Alright, do you give me any other extra bonuses? Alright, operation success goes up to a 36%. And simplification chance up to almost 60%. Okay, so that is definitely a winning combo right there. The X-ray plus 2 nurses, that's really what we want to do. And here comes another train. That is not great.
Sir, operation was successful.
Oh, thank God. Alright, cool. We'll have ourselves somebody in the rehabilitation station. And this is for rehabilitation post-surgery, so this could help them to walk again or anything they need to do in order to fire a gun. Okay. So we need to get a big stack of rehabilitation first. So it seems like after we're done with surgery, that's where we send them to then rehabilitate with a nurse, but we need to make sure that they don't die. Which means we need to send them there, which is crazy. Alright, the Germans should be attacking sometime today. on the 8th of June on our front lines. Our front lines are strong, so they're attacking at noon, apparently. So 6 hours until the German attack. Let's see what happens. Train arriving in 3 hours.
New patient arrived.
Or arriving via ambulance. Collapse resting 1 day. Wow. You must manage things a little better, it seems. He's resting for 7 hours. He's resting for a day. This is a whole... Wow. Jeez.
Sir, doctor is starting a new shift.
Oh, doctor's coming in? What else do I have for hiring personnel? I need more doctors. Well, let's do some improvements if we can. Anything? Trauma ward, chemical ward. We could get a trauma specialist, but I'm not exactly sure what that will do. Oh, maximum amount of medics to 4. Nurses, engineers. Decreases resting time needed for units by 10%. Wow. That takes a hell of a lot of supply, but that is huge. Alright, let's go with that.
Sir, engineers reached the construction site.
We're having a lot of problem with that, too. Okay, I think we have a doctor in the, Yep. Whoa, whoa, doctor, what are you doing there? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, whoa. Okay. Alright, 8 and 8, but morale is holding at 54. People understand the dire situation here. 2 people in rehabilitation. They're not going to be fully rehabilitated, but we don't have time for it. They got to get to the front lines. I'm hoping that even though our front line is strong, perhaps that even if it's strong, there's a mechanic where if we add more and more troops to the front line, that means more guns against the Germans, which means that there'll be less damage. The more we outnumber the enemy, the better things will be for us. Okay, the German attack should have begun. I don't see him on the front lines yet. But again, the Germans could attack at any time. Ah, there it is. We received a request from HQ. Several bodies have been found nearby, likely hit by an artillery strike. HQ asks us to provide them with a burial. If we do so, they'll grant us staff permits. Send a medic team. I knew it. The good thing we have the morgue then. I don't know if that's going to be a temporary storage area until we get a hole dug at the cemetery, but that is going to be a full-time job. Wow. That's all the time we have today for War Hospital. Out again on January 11th, 2024, for those of you who are wondering. I don't see any price or anything listed at the moment, but certainly the price paid for war like that is insane. And material costs and all the personnel and stuff is crazy. And it's great that this game, just like this War of Mine and Frostpunk, really shows difficult choices that have to be made in management. If you felt anything watching this video like, oh, dude, don't do that, oh, that's good. I think that's exactly what it was supposed to convey, because there simply is not enough time or money or resources to save everybody all the time. That sucks. That's the truth. All right, well, leave a like to support the channel. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of War Hospital. This is certainly a game I want to check out more, and I will see you all next time. Let me know your thoughts and whatnot down below in the comment section. Would love to hear what you have to what you're thinking or what you have to say, and I will certainly respond when I can. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.